Hello, my name is Jamie Natalia Alvarez Tobasia, and today I am going to present my pedagogical practice experience and research process development during my teaching practice. I completed my pedagogical practice in a private school context where I worked with students for primary and secondary levels. Specifically with students from transition 6th and 7th grade. The students were between 10 and 30 years old and had a one level of English. During my practice, I observed that many students were able to recognize vocabulary and understand basic English structures, but they have difficulties when speaking or reading in real communicative situations. The situation inspired my research proposal titled The Impact of Interactive Activities on Students' Language Development, Input versus Output. The main objective of my research was to analyze how interactive and communicative activities influence students' English language development, especially the relationships between input, which is recognition and compensation, and output, which is language production, so speaking and reading. Okay, problem and objectives. During my pedagogical practice, I identified a significant problem in the English classroom. Many students participated actively in recognition activities such as listening and vocabulary exercise, but they show difficulties when producing language independently during speaking and reading activities. I also noticed that traditional teaching methods sometimes limited students' participation and reducing opportunities for meaningful interaction. Because of this, I decided to implement more interactive and communicative activities to motivate students and encourage participation. To answer this question, I decided for lesson plans following the PP structure, presentations, practice, and production. I also implement activities such as flashcards, games, presentations, collaborative work, and communicative exercise to promote students' interaction and language use in the classroom. Okay, literature reviewed. For development of my research process, I reviewed different theoretical foundations related to English language teaching and language acquisition. One of the main approaches was communicative language teaching, also known as CLT, which promoted real communication and meaningful interaction in the classroom. I also explored text-based learning, which encourages students to learn through practical and contextualized activities. Another important theoretical aspect was the input and output theory. This theory explained that language learning occurs where students feel receive comprehensible input such as listening and reading activities, and they produce language through speaking and written text. Okay, research process and results. This research following a qualitative approach focused on observing and analyzing students' learning process through classroom interactions, participation, and language productions. To collect information, I use different data collection instruments such as lesson plans, field diaries, observation logs, students' written activities, oral participation records, and evidence from interactive activities developed on digital resources. Visual and dynamic strategies such as flashcards, games, and presentations facilitate vocabulary learning and improve classroom participations. Overall, the experience helped me understand the importance of the silent interactive activities that support both language comprehensions and language productions. Conclusions. I conclude this pedagogical practice experience was very meaningful for my professional and personal growth as a future English teacher. Finally, this experience reinforced my interest in education and motivated me to continue to improve as a reflective, creative, and committed English teacher. Thank you for your attention.